Is sorry, are you there? You can speak for 10 minutes if you are there. Yes. Hi, good evening, everybody, whoever is live streaming on YouTube and also here present. Welcome you all to this Monday webinar. Let me stop the music first. Let me put the record. Yes. So again, welcome everybody in the YouTube also and whoever is present here. So some of the I thank you first. Thank you for being here. You might be doing something else somewhere, but you prefer to come here and attend this webinar. Thank you so much for that. And some of the context that I'd like you to raise, this will take about 90 minutes and we will put all the questions towards the end so that the break doesn't happen with my flow and take some notes because no, it is not that I am saying something extraordinary, but some words, some something in this from my experience will hit you as something like say it will be a ball-on moment for you, and this might open up a new possibilities in your life. That has happened in my life, although I have attended these webinars of my mentors who are quite junior to me in age, but they have always they have learned from whatever uh, they learn from everybody, and I also learn from them. So this is the context. So you can switch off the video, Ashokji, if possible, or else it's like that also. So welcome, I'm welcoming you. So let us start the webinar. So if everybody is able to see my screen, then please say yes in the chat. So this is a leadership growth webinar. So how many of you are having a complaint in your life? If you are having a complaint in your life, then you are looking for some change or some pain is happening in your life definitely. Because whenever we have a complaint, it is pain, you know. Are you able to see me? Are you able to see me? Right? See me and hear me. Everybody, you can put yes on the chat if you are able to see me and hear me, right? So I would like you to respond in between. Whenever I ask questions, please use the chat box so that no, you can answer whatever I am asking. It is like say listening properly, right? So this is for you if you are stuck in life because of some problem or some challenges. Some, like say, there will be multiple reasons why you are stuck at workplace. Mostly people say that it is because of the boss, because of the colleagues, because the growth is not happening. It is like that, right? So here is what I'll be sharing with you, a smart formula that creates clarity, fulfillment, and accelerated growth. The moment you have clarity, it will give you some roadmap to act upon, right? And who this is for? This is for the people who are stuck and feeling unfulfilled. Mostly those people who have already 6 to 10 years of experience and they are potential people. And what is there for you? There are few of the things that you will be a winning leader with capturing 100% success story, 100 plus success stories. We will show how many success stories do you know about yourself right now. You must have had many success stories, but you don't know what are those because you haven't captured them. So you become, the moment you capture all those success stories, you become a winning leader. And you will have in the team 3 days You will have a victory formula when around in your, according to your personality, and you will have an eye for talent because your teammates will love you then you can design your distinctive style of leadership. Then you become a highly productive person with lot of time freedom. You have multiple source of income. Then you become a manifestor, like say we'll design a tracker with which you can triple your income in a year. Then you become a tranquil leader with 4 days work week. You will ask, I have to work 6 days a week. How can I have 4 days a week? So that formula also we will work along with you. Then you can have daily winning stories. So you will never feel disheartened or whatever pain you are feeling, because those will be your winning formulas, right? And then you become a global crusader with a global team dream, right? How to be able to do that? And you are always the trendsetter and breakthrough professionals. That is why you have a pay. That you realize, right? So whatever proficiency you have been born unique, and that is why you are born with those kind of proficiency, right? So I'd ask you some question. Do you have a complaint? That is the first thing. Complaint about anything, about life, about your job, about anybody, anything and anybody. If you have a complaint, then industry data says you are stuck. Why? Because you assign your problem to salary raise. You are not getting enough salary. You have a problem with your boss. You have not very good work conditions, supervision, relationship with peers. These are the usual reasons that are assigned to why you are stuck. But those are external reasons, external to you. And if you are a fresher, then you can get a job immediately, say within 3 to 6 months. But if you have, like say, more experience, then you take 3 to 5 years of time to get a job. When you take that time, you are working at 20% of productivity level. That means if you are working, say for 3 to 5 years at 20% of productivity level, what happens to your potential then? So you waste lot of potential. That is where I come in to help you see where are you stuck. Most of the time, people have told me that they are stuck because of, if you can see the screen, there will be a left column and there is a right column. See towards the left, it is mostly about workplace. But people who are stuck, they have also told me that they are stuck because of these reasons, the right hand column also, which are not directly related to workplace issues. Now, what do you say about this? So, if it is not related to workplace issues, how can somebody else will resolve it? It is you who has to resolve these problems, right? And see what are the problems. These are very peculiar kind of problems. Unsure of the next course of action. If you are not sure what to do next, who will tell you? Because you are a mature human being, right? You are supposed to figure out what to do next. But if you are not figuring out, you will obviously not going anywhere, not doing anywhere, not taking any step, right? If you are not taking any step, you are stuck. The second is lack of consistency. You are starting something, but you are not able to pursue it. You are leaving it halfway. Relationship with spouse, because if you are you have problem with somewhere else, then the ultimate person who gets into trouble is with the spouse. You create lot of self doubt. You have motivational and inspirational problems. You will have friction with friends, lack of self acceptance. Asking for help will be difficult for you, but it takes a lot of courage to ask for help. You agree with that? And these are the problems, a lot of problems which are, like say, you can read it out, and any of the problems or multiple of problems can be happening with you. So what I have done is, all those problems can be categorized into 10 major categories. These are with life decisions, you might be having some problem. Everybody I have asked, working professional, they have some problem. But they can't figure out what kind of problem is that and how to share that problem with me. But if you know these 10 categories, you can closely, maybe the problem that you are having will be over a multiple of categories. But you can start whichever is paining you the most. Suppose communication is the issue. Then we can start with communication and later on we can slowly figure out what all the problems are. Right? So work decision, competition, communication, confidence, colleagues, learning a skill, embarking on a big vision, managing time, fail forward. All these are problems. People are afraid of change. People can't manage time. People don't know how to utilize their time and how to finish work in time. So these are time related issues. I don't know. Any problem can happen with you and you can figure out which is this. But we'll discuss which of your problem is close to these categories, right? And how to deal with this. I have a unique solution which is called resourceful influence. And how it all started. How do I know what is this? Because here in the digital platform, everybody teaches what already that person has undergone. So how I have undergone all these problems. Whatever problems I am telling you, it is not that I have never faced those. I also face, that is why I know. Unless you undergo some problem, you won't know about that problem, how the other problem person is facing or feeling or going or he is undergoing those kind of problems. You won't know unless you have undergone those kind of problems. So I know you will have some of them, but still you will be in a very acute pain. So how it all started? I'll say I was a star performer all through, but most of the time I was not the boss. So I was screaming that I am not the boss, I am doing everything and I am not the boss. I used to complain a lot, but I loved my work. So you will be like that also. You might be complaining a lot, but you still love your work. That is why you are here. And still, like say you are tolerating all those things, all those pain, might be. And I could handle a variety of tasks in emergency. Emergency में हुआ तो सब सभी लोग बोलते कि हाँ उसको पकड़ो वो कर देगी. Might be happening with you also. अरे अच्छा इसको पकड़ो वो कर देगा, right? And when it comes to give credit, आपको देता होगा नहीं. Maybe this will be your problem. And then I attend a HR workshop meant for HR professional because I was not an HR professional. I am a postgraduate in mathematics. I never knew any HR thing. So whatever all my life you will see going forward, I have done which are way beyond mathematics. So when I went to this HR workshop, there was a HR policy to be presented in that workshop. So my organization, which I was representing at that time, was a very small one. It didn't have any HR policy. So what did I do? I designed HR policy then and there and presented. Everybody appreciated. Now, how did I come up with HR policy? If I was not trained as an HR, that is called resourcefulness. When in problem, when in crisis, you find out a solution. That is what resourcefulness. Everybody will agree, and you might have done something like this or similar like this in your life, for sure. For sure. Everybody does. That was my first experience of resourcefulness. And then I'll tell you, as soon as I discovered that, it took me, say, 2 years to get to a very big company. And that was also a story because I presented that HR policy then and there with other participants who were from a big company. They were impressed. And 2 years later, when I applied in that company, I was selected on the basis of the HR policy that I had done. Everybody knew I was not from HR. So if I could do something which was for which I was never trained, then everybody knew that if I am given a problem, then I will solve. So I was sent to Rajasthan 2 years later, where 44 lakh women had to be enumerated within 2 months of time. If you calculate, it comes to 25,000 women in per day. How did I do that? I actually collected, like say, 12,000 volunteers, trained them, arranged their logistics. Every day there had to be 65 camps in 29 districts we were operating. Those every camp had 10 people. All those planning, all the decision making I did, right? Along with a team, of course, right? So I was never trained for this kind of this, like say, a task of this scale. Still, I did it in 2 months' time. Next, I was sent to Meghalaya, where I had to establish 239 common service center under the National E-Governance Plan. Meghalaya, if you have visited ever, you know it is a difficult terrain, and the broadband was not working there. So, what was the solution? In the common service center scheme, every center, every remote center had to be connected to the central server. I was not a technical person, but I found out a solution. How did I found out? Because I had solution focused in my mind. I am a solution focused person. You must be that person also. You must have found out some solution in your life when there was a crisis, when there was a need. So you can well connect with me in this aspect as well. So after say 1.5 years to the project, we found that the broadband didn't work because of the difficult terrain. So what we did, I read somewhere that VSAT is the good solution. And data card, of course, we were using. So we gave 125 data card. We had to establish 239 common service center. So we gave 125 data card and 5 visits from our company. When it worked well, Meghalaya government donated another 42 visits. So I was not a technical person, still I found out a solution, right? Then Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, there was a crisis happening then for my company also. I tracked using the data science technique. I was never a data scientist. Still, I learned and tracked whatever developments were happening over a period of 6 months time. So that after this, I was sent to Bandhavgarh in MP, Madhya Pradesh, to a remote area which is called, you can Google that also, Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, where people had only 3 months of food still, and they were dependent on the forest for their food. And when they were going to the core of the forest, they were getting killed by tiger attack. So the forest department wanted us to develop an alternative livelihood solution. I stayed there for 4 years in the forest, and at the end of 4 years, it was a food sufficient place that we will discuss going forward. So I noticed what? I noticed that now I am not looking to be a boss anymore. I am looking to for challenging tasks because I could find out that I am good at mobilizing teams. You must be the same, and because your focus is elsewhere, might be you are not realizing those things. But if you focus on inwards, then you will know whatever you love to do. If you are focused on that, you will ignore all the other things that is happening. Because if you focus to what you love, what will happen is you will do more about that, and that will bring you recognition. Then you will not bother about who is saying what and what problem is there. You will overcome everything, right? So ultimately, what was the thing? What was my achievement? It was the task I have to choose, which I loved, rather than the designation. So then you will ask, what is then leadership growth? See, I in that time my company was a company of 10,000 employees. Now the chairman personally knew me. So many bosses were there. They were not known to the chairman personally. How did the chairman knew me? It is because I always chose these challenging tasks. The task nobody else do. That means if you do something very different, then you will be recognized. And when you do that, you will not do that alone. You cannot do. Whatever I have just now showed you, it could have been done alone all by myself. It has to be a team. So if you can mobilize a team effectively to achieve that result, this is what leadership is. Not all the bosses can do this. So this is the topic that I teach. So normally, when people don't understand what leadership growth is, they will say, we are not getting reward, we are not recognized for our expertise, we are not getting salary raise, promotion, opportunity, recognition, incentive. But nobody talks about leadership. Does anybody talk? No. They don't even think. Not many people think that there is a solution to their problem. Till I talk to them. When I ask questions, they will agree. Yes, it is very painful, very painful. I have spoken to at least 5 people this week, and everybody agreed that there was pain. Still, only 2 have shown here. Might be they are watching in YouTube, but here directly 2 people have shown. What does this mean? This means that you are slowly dying. You are slowly dying, not recognizing, but you are okay with your death rather than finding the solution. How absurd is that? But still, human being is a human being, the most absurd animal in this world. So, ask yourself 3 questions whenever you are stuck. The first thing is, how do you see yourself? Second question is, how do people see you? And third is, how do you think that your future generation will remember you? If you ask yourself these 3 questions, you will see that you are not happy with any of the answer that you are getting for yourself. You ask yourself only, right? So let me explain what is resourcefulness. What resources are there? What is resources? Resources, time, money, and HR, right? So what are those? What existing resources you have? What is the process to utilize those resources? And who you need to become? So if you have seen all those different kind of projects that I did and I succeeded, I was a different person everywhere. Somewhere I was a data scientist, somewhere I was technical person, somewhere I was a livelihood person, somewhere something, right? So who for this kind of problem you need to become? And why this choice? Why should you at all become? Right? Ask these questions, and influencing everybody knows it is again about what challenges are there and what processes are there, who you team up with, because influence is influencing somebody else. It is not influencing yourself, right? And why it is necessary. Ask and get these questions, write down these questions, and you will find that most of the time, 75% of the time at least, you will find absurd answers for yourself. And still you are with it. If you have this habit of writing down every answer, why you are doing whatever you are doing, you will see that the absurd things that you are indulgent with is way too many for you to like. Then, resourceful influencing does what? It creates a chain reaction. It wins you recognition and growth. It creates resilience. It overcomes struggles and challenges. It it propels you towards reaching beyond and without feeling burnt out. Because when you are overcoming all these problems, you are not doing for a momentary thing. You are establishing your identity, right? You are discovering yourself in this process. Do you agree with me? And the influence process is quite simple. The first is you go bottom up. The first is know who you are, what uniqueness you are born with, how you are differentiating yourself from the others. And the second is if you are born unique, the other person also is born unique. Then if you are accepting that person to be different, you should know that he or she is also born with some uniqueness. The moment you accept that person, you will there admire. And that is how you build a team. You start building a team, right? And when you have a team, it is easier to overcome problems, challenges. And that proves your resilience, right? You overcome change and challenges and maneuver many things. And that establishes your credibility. And when you are a credible person in the organization, then you don't have to go after asking for promotion and growth and raise and incentive and everything. It comes automatically. Don't you think so? So, my secrets are, secret one is reality check, as I told you, manage yourself. You ask yourself question, how do you manage? Managing people and managing time. The third is when you ask yourself as to how you want to be remembered, then you have to utilize this time that is there for you right now. Are you utilizing it effectively? To win credibility, influencing others, how are you managing people? Are they appreciating you, recognizing you? Sometimes they will be in conflict with you. Still, they are in conflict with you because you are somebody, right? Then, my values are dignity, freedom, and transformation. I'll tell you why these are my values. Last week only, I was asking somebody how he has a problem with his teammates, and he was sharing food with that person to win the goodwill. Do you think it is something which is it goes well with your personal dignity? Are you not selling yourself for something very cheaply? You are posing yourself. Any person with that behavior can be respected. Do you respect such a person? So dignity is paramount. Dignity is paramount in whatever you are doing. Anything that you do, if it doesn't have dignity, respectability, and whatever you are doing, both these things together come to dignity. If that is not there, you will not enjoy doing it either. If you lose your self-respect, you will not be able to do it for long. Second is freedom. Freedom is you are not a Koluka bell, right? You are not like say doing and doing. So I basically mean time freedom here. And transformation is the third thing, because whatever you are today, whatever you were in the beginning of the webinar, if you have learned something, you will definitely be a better person at the end of the webinar, at the end of 90 minutes. So that is what I call as transformation. What is the process of transformation? The caterpillar becoming a butterfly is transformation. So when you are transformed, you are no longer the same person. You are no longer the same entity again. So how transformation happens is by continuous learning, right? So if you are not learning, if you are not progressing, you are stuck. You are not transformed, right? So my 10-point formula that you got, those are very simple. As I say, how do you respond to your environment? First, have you recognized your strength, inherent strength? Do you make most of your relationship? Are you afraid of change, or do you manage change like that only, gleefully? How do you manage challenges? How do you help your teammates become more? That is what emotional intelligence is. And how do you deal with ambiguity? Your boss says something, your boss's boss says something. So, which one to follow? And if you have that skill to deal with this is what dealing with ambiguity. Lot of doubtful situations, but still you navigate through it and achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? And the third secret is like practicing mindfulness, because all this requires what? Your inner power. Nobody is pushing you to do this or that or that. So how would you be able to do this? You have to be very strong inside. How would you become? Because you have to know, you have to become silently strong. That is what mindfulness is all about. And I help you to build that strength by recognizing your daily wins. This is something supporting to mindfulness, where you will become more stronger. If suppose I appreciate you for something, how would you feel? You you will feel stronger, right? And if I scold you every day, twice a day, how would you feel? You would feel wretched, right? You won't feel good. You won't feel powerful. But the moment I start appreciating you, like say me or anybody, if you receive appreciation every day, it makes you stronger. So why to wait for somebody else's recognition? You appreciate yourself now. How would you appreciate yourself? By recognizing daily wins, right? And then monetizing a skill. Each of you definitely have a skill. So far, I have trained 18,000 people, and I have seen whether they are educated or not educated or anything, they have two involved skills. So, if you are educated, definitely you will have more than one skill. So, how to monetize that skill? Anyways, if you are a working professional, you are selling your skill already. But apart from that, can you do something about one other skill which can bring you a supporting income? That is what we will discuss. These are the 10-step formula which will take entire time of yours, your being, your existence. You won't bother to see what others are saying or what others are doing. You will be completely occupied, immersed in being more about yourself. You are such a grand existence, very blessed soul on this earth. You don't realize, right? So the first thing, identifying strengths. So how do you do? You can take a screenshot of this. These are the tests which will give you some personality assessment of yourself. Have you taken the screenshot? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I assume that you have taken the screenshot. From this, you will find your type. About 18 types are there, and I have tried to uh, describe some of the types. Like say there are here it is like say 1, 2, 3. For achiever kind of personality, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kinds of traits. So 7 traits are there already. So if you are an achiever, you have these 7 traits. If you are a finisher kind, you have another 6. You have if you are a problem solver kind, you have 4. The good news is you will be a mix of these all kinds. That means you will have about 10 personality traits which are good about you. If you are a conflict manager, you will have these 5 skills. If you are a productive manager, then you have these 6 skills. If you are an influencer, then you have these 6 skills. Innovator, you have these 6 skills. And once you are done, then I'll tell you Suppose you found out 10 skills about yourself, and another person around you or somewhere else found the same 10 skills. Then how do you differentiate yourself? These are the four characteristics by which you can differentiate: attitude, habit, action, and perception. How you behave, you know. If I ask a question, you take, say, about 5 minutes to answer. That is one habit, one attitude. Something going on inside your mind, nobody knows. But you are irritating the another person might be. And you don't bother. That is one kind of attitude, right? So that is one habit you have. So attitude defines your personality. So the other person will have an image about you, what kind of person you are. And habit is strengthens credibility. So if you are a person with, say, habits of promptness, proactiveness, that builds one of your credibility, that is a positive credibility. And if you are a procrastinator, you are a lazy person, that also creates your negative credibility. Action. If you can't move yourself into action, how can you ever produce dependability? Who can depend on you? Who can trust you? Right? So action is the first thing. Whether you do this thing, that thing, whatever you do, but push yourself into action. And perception. The glass half full and the glass half empty. Both are the same thing. But how do you perceive that is very important. The reality is defined by how you see the thing. It will be whatever it is. If you choose so, it will be positive. If you choose so, it will be negative. So for you, if it is required to be positive, then it is your personality. That is what leadership style is. But if you are negative, you know your leadership rating will be negative. Now, I'll give one story about perception. Suppose you saw two people quarreling in the ground floor, right? You were there standing beside them, and you see two people fighting. Then you will know something. Suppose you get up to the third floor, and then you see those people fighting. You will see other people's reaction also. You will have a better view, right? Now, if you go to the fifth floor, you will see more. Might be you are not able to hear whatever they are fighting about. And do you need to know why they are fighting and what they are fighting and what they are saying? No. You would like to know what is the context which brought about that quarrel. And if you go to the 10th floor, might be you are not able to see two people fighting as you will see that two people are standing there. They are interacting with you. So this is one example of raising your mind above and above and above. So the more high you go, you will more ignore the useless things in life. Where do you stand right now? And you must have heard that people were laid off not because of skill, it is because of attitude. So when your job is in danger, you know that your attitude is not right. Right? And characteristic of a resourceful mindset, the person is always a giver. And they know what is the existing opportunity. They will not go ask for anybody. They will recognize it automatically. They will know what is the ongoing difficulty and what problem is to be resolved. They will know their strengths and weaknesses as well as they know the weaknesses and strength of others. Here they will know the strength and weaknesses. There they will know the weaknesses and strength. Why? Because they need to complement and supplement with another person. That is the jar. That is the resource they have, right? To make something happen, right? And they will follow a proven discipline so that they don't lose time. Whatever already somebody has gone through, they will take some learning from that and pull on and move on. This is characteristic of a resourceful person. And how you will have daily wins? I just described daily wins, right? Daily wins strengthen you. Every day, whatever happens, you will observe. You will reflect on that. Why that thing happened? Nothing happens in your life without a meaning. So know that and reflect in that perspective. Rectify inside your mind whatever wrong thing has happened. And next time this similar thing happens, you take a bit and win it through and journal them regularly. That is what a daily win is. We'll discuss when you come to the course. My backstory. Let me tell. Can I tell a bit about myself? I'm assuming that you are saying yes. So, as I told you, I have trained 18,000 professionals to impact 1 crore life since 2008. And whoever I have trained, they have become leaders. They are enhancing people's lives in many ways. And as I told you, I have found at least 2 skills in them. I'll tell you, I was training the ladies. Anyways, I'll go through and then I'll tell. So why I'm doing this? I'm doing this for making more positivity, creativity in this world, so that people can become more. And my values are titles for peace, green, and abundance. By titles, I mean it is 6 values that I have. It is transformation, tranquility, inclusion, dignity, abundance, learning, and joy. Right? So you also find out. These are some of the credibility that I have. I have received the biggest award from our company, which is Chairman's Award for 4 times in a row. 2012, 13, 14, 15. So as a result of that, I was sent to Canada for a study tour. And this is one of my mentee who has just in the beginning of this webinar, he called me, and he is the CEO of one farmer producer organization at Bangalore. My company also won several awards because of what I did. And my mission is to impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh super performing global players who you are. Like say, whoever you are, they will come. If you join me, you come to my army of super performing global players. And I want to find out these people in 139 countries with a multi-billion dollar enterprise. This is my mission. And my system is called Resourceful Influencers Club. This is my blueprint. As I told you, you start with a difference, then resilience, you build resilience, then you influence, and you achieve prominence. When you are at the top, you will find more people like you there, and the whole cycle again starts. And you will differentiate yourself with these 4 things: attitude, habit, action, and perception. Because this will never be same for another person, because the circumstances with which you are born and brought up, and the books that you read and the people you met, those were very different from anybody else in the world. Because the same book, same situation, it will never happen for another person. So that is why you will remain different. But provided you recognize it yourself, right? So the next is response pattern. So I'll tell you 5 response pattern. I call that as strategic position. How do you respond? First is subtle assertion. So let us think this way: an interview circumstance where the interviewer is asking you some question. What do he wants to know about you, right? So what you will say? You will say about who you are, how you have solved some problem, and how you are very confident in solving that problem without bragging yourself, without using bombastic words. So you will be very humble. With humility, you will express this. This is step 1, subtle assertion. Second is strong conviction. They will cross check, cross question, cross examine about whatever you have done. So हाँ यहाँ पे तो ये मिला होगा ना आपको. Suppose this situation is not there somewhere, how you will do? These kind of irritating questions they will ask. So if you have a strong conviction about whatever you have done, then you will be very humble again, but you will tell them that situations might be very different in future, but since you have overcome this, you have this confidence. So that is what strong conviction is. Third is उससे भी नहीं मानता है. कुछ लोग they will keep on asking further irritating questions. So what you will do? You will show कि आप पागल थे इसीलिए कर दिया. You will show some obsession. क्योंकि like say the bigger achievements won't happen unless you are very obsessed with whatever you are doing, right? So show them that you have been obsessed, and you were obsessed about the solution so much so that you had done these things, and opportunities came your way because you were looking for those solutions. So without appearing to be mad, पागल वो आपको पागल नहीं समझ ले उतना तक मत जा, but a suitable amount of mix थोड़ा सा करके उनको बताना है कि I was obsessed with this, right? You should be proud of your obsession. जिंदगी में जो भी चीज के लिए आपका obsession है, that is good, that is a gift. And fourth is subliminal orientation. अब जब सब कुछ हो गया ना, then you start impressing that person, interviewer, कि if you recruit me, then it will be a win for you also. कैसे वो आपको समझाना. Now what you are doing कि that you are like say unintentionally नहीं indirectly उसको push कर रहे हो कि आपको recruit कर ही ले, right? So this is the fourth stage. And fifth is synergizing conversation. You will say we. If we are together, then we can take this company or this organization to a very somewhere, to a dream. आप ऐसे बोल सकते हो. So this might not be very practical at this moment, but no harm in saying, like say projecting this dream, this vision. मैंने अभी जो vision आपको दिखाया, like say 1 lakh super performing global players from 139 countries with a multi-billion dollar enterprise. Do you think that is very practical at this moment? No. But it is something which kind of energizes me. किसी को क्या जाता है? मैं उसी तरह से energize और inspire होती. So whatever inspires you, किसी और का कुछ नहीं जाता. It is okay. Right? So tell that, right? Third is mentoring. Mentoring किस लिए करना होता है? This is somebody who I had recruited who was an executive. 6 साल पहले वो पढ़ाई छोड़ चुकी थी and she didn't have any confidence. Right now she is the HR manager of where I used to be the HR head. हाँ आपको बताना भूल गई कि I was the HR head of this big 10,000 employee wala company. How? Without any HR background, right? So that is what does the resourceful influencing does to your personality. If you are suitably obsessed with whatever you are doing. I designed 40 kinds of incentive structure there. And this girl was watching me doing all that. So I was like inspiring her. She always aspired to be somebody like me, and she is today has reached there. She is the. So you also do that. Why I say so? Because I told you, if you don't have time freedom as a leader, you have to spend 80% of your time in planning and strategy. So 20% of time रह गया जिसमें आप execute करोगे. So how do you manage your routine work जो भी आपके काम में आता है? Unless you train your second and third rank to take care of those routine jobs, you will not get time. सारे काम जिंदगी में जो भी सुबह से लेके खाना बनाना, कपड़े धोना, बर्तन मांजना से लेके ऑफिस काम करना सब कुछ अगर खुद से करोगे ना नहीं होगा. So you need to be dependent on people. So suitably you need to mentor them. जो फिश है उसको आप स्विम करने और सिखाना, एंड जो हाथी है उसको दौड़ने सिखाना. बर्ड है उसको फ्लाई करने सिखाना. So you need to have that responsibility. Who is good at what? अगर आप ये करोगे then you are a suitable mentor ना. You have found out, recognize the strength in somebody. किसी का weakness को अगर आप करोगे अपने आप में, if you go on like say resolving your weaknesses, कितना सारा weaknesses है. Everybody is born with some weaknesses, some negative points, right? उसको क्या करेंगे हम? We are the human being that we are, with that kind of strength and that kind of weaknesses. अब weaknesses को आप धोने चलोगे ना, you will spend your entire time, वो जाएगा नहीं. What will do with your strength? तो इससे अच्छा whatever strength you have, grow on those strength. भूल जाओ weakness जो है. Everybody has weakness, right? So these are some of my colleagues who have told big thing about me. So done those. Then managing challenges. अब देखिए मेघालय में आप मैंने बताया ना, one thing was about the connectivity issue. The second challenge was these people whom I had recruited, these people were not salaried. These people had to earn their whatever commission or their livelihood. कैसे करते? It was way back in 2008. That time there was not many utility payment and all that. So I designed a business plan so that they could earn 2,000 to 5,000 every month. So they were grateful for that. So how I did that was, like say उनको बैंक के पास रखती. So bank has so many kind of thing. So मुझे किसने बोला था कि बैंक के पास रखूं? So that was resourcefulness ना. आप बैंक के पास अगर रखोगे, there are so many work that bank always outsources. तो ये लोग पास में था, connectivity थी, and paper था, printer था, so they could take advantage of that and they generated their livelihood, right? So this was one example. This is the second in Bandhavgarh, where I had to design this alternative livelihood solution. I stayed in the forest. आपको forest दिख रहा होगा. In forest में बाघ था, right? The tigers which were killing people. I stayed with these people only. अब रोज तो बाघ आगे खा नहीं जा रहा था. So if you don't go to the forest, the tiger is not there to kill you, right? So I stayed there and gave them the solutions, alternative livelihood solutions. So this was how I dealt with this challenge. Then handling change. So when I was HR person in my company, कुछ लोगों को पसंद नहीं आता है ना. So I designed 40 kind of incentive structure out there to help the grassroots workers. सबको मिलेगा. So why the manager gets all the incentives and the grassroots workers don't get any? Because सारा काम तो grassroots workers से ही होता है ना. So that is why not many people like that. And they gave me a challenge. इधर एक watershed dead होके पड़ा है 2 साल से, जाओ revive करो. I did that in 6 months. So whenever you are facing a challenge, take it, grab it. As you must have observed, I have always taken these challenges, right? Emotional intelligence. अब देखिए, when I was designing these alternative livelihoods at Bandhavgarh, I was dealing with 1,000 households. सब ये पढ़े लिखे थे नहीं, they were illiterate. Now, इनके साथ माइंड मैच करके अगर आपको चलना होगा, don't you think I had to design my mindset accordingly? So ये जो लेडीज थी, ये सबसे पहले जिस दिन मैं गई थी, तो ये घूंघट निकाल के मेरे सामने बात ही नहीं कर रही. 4 years forward, fast forward मैं बोलती हूँ, they won 17 awards in 4 years. CII का अवार्ड जीते, 1.5 lakh cash award. They broke mustard production of Madhya Pradesh. They in their federation, they formed a federation in which there were 36 lakh corpus. कितने लोगों के पास है आज के दिन में? 4 साल में फूड स्कैर 3 महीने का खाना था और खाना था नहीं. वहां से ये लोग they were selling their grains. Ladies became leader. They were members of the district governing board under the collector. And ये गए थे दी देन चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ गुजरात, वहां भी एक फार्मर कन्वेंशन था, दे वन 50,000 कैश अवार्ड फ्रॉम चीफ मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी थे। ये तो मैंने कुछ मतलब ये पॉसिबल नहीं होता है ना। सो द वे यू स्टार्ट with the enthusiasm, you start, you make that pagalpan, you rub that pagalpan into all those people who are around you and they become extraordinary। उसमें मजा आता है। फिर आपका फुलफिलमेंट किधर, आपका स्टकनेस किधर? You are all fulfilled, you are very powerful, right? Don't you think so? She won that award, and what was her concept? How did she win? She had a concept that गरीब के पास अगर छोटा कैपिटल बन जाता है, then they escape this vicious cycle of poverty. That was her concept. अब मेरे किस बात से उसको ये समझ में आया वो मुझे पता नहीं, या फिर गरीबी से उसको पता चला, मेरे ट्रेनिंग की वजह से उसको समझ की इतनी समझ आ गई थी, आई डोंट नो एंड आई डोंट केयर। उसको अवार्ड मिला एंड दी देन इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्टर मिस्टर आनंद शर्मा ने उसको रिकॉग्नाइज किया। दिस इज रियलिटी, ये दुनिया जानती, राइट? Another farmer won MS Swaminathan Research Foundation Award. Another lady won Andhra Pradesh Governor का award. So that was enough मेरे लाइफ में, और क्या चाहिए? And then managing ambiguity. As I told you in Meghalaya, when I was trying for this solution, my boss was like say, एक तो मेघालय was a very dangerous place, right? Then I was living in, I was handling all the entire 7 districts of Meghalaya, and Meghalaya people didn't, they don't normally welcome strangers, outsiders, but मुझे कोई problem तो हुआ नहीं। So then many people were like saying कि इसको कैसे सभी कोई encourage करता है। So then they were giving me very conflicting signals कि ये करो ये नहीं करो। So anything that I started doing, always I had this hesitation, करो या नहीं करो। But then the end result was in view. The end result was establishing connectivity. So I went to the telephone department and मैंने बोला कि data card and VSAT are the solution. They were like say, आप तो बहुत ही अजीब से बात करते हो, आपको कैसे ये solution का पता चला? Are you a technical person? No, I am not a technical person. I am a person with solution focus. आप कोई भी हो, if you are solution focus, आपको solution मिल जाएगा. If you are problem focus, आपको problem घिरे रहेगा, right? So that is how I managed ambiguity at office. किसी को अच्छा लगे नहीं लगे, I did it. Then practicing mindfulness, जैसे मैंने बताया कि जितने सारे आपके experiences हैं, अभी जैसे first 6 years of your life career, you have to be versatile, ना? बहुत सारे experiences को साथ में लेके चलो. But after say 6 years, then you have to integrate all your experiences. तो अभी आपने देखा मेरे पास क्या क्या experience है, कुछ agriculture में थे, कुछ technology में थे, कुछ इसमें थे, कुछ उसमें। ये सारे को अभी मैंने लेके एक एक्सपीरियंस अपना टैगलाइन अपने लिए खुद के लिए चैलेंज दिया है, सोलर एफिशिएंट डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट सस्टेनेबल अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग टू ईडब्ल्यूएस इकोनॉमिकली वीकर सेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी। आपको पता है 85% ऑफ हाउसेस इन इंडिया आर कच्चा। कोई भी डिजास्टर आता है तो पहले वो घर उठ जाता, देन व्हाटएवर सेविंग्स दिस गरीब लोग होते हैं उनके पास, दे इन्वेस्ट इन घर। बिना घर के बिना छत के आपने देखा है किसी करोड़पति को, राइट? सो इफ वी कैन गिव देम दिस हाउस ओनली, अभी हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने नारा दिया है, वो भी तो आपने सुना होगा, वो 22 में खत्म हो रहा है, मतलब इस साल खत्म होगा, उसको एक्सटेंशन किया है 24 तक। तो मेरा ड्रीम है 9 करोड़ हाउसेस बनाना। सो यू विल से अगेन कि ऐसे अजीब अजीब सपने, इतने जो इम्प्रैक्टिकल लुकिंग सपने क्यों ले आती? सो हाउ डू आई केयर? 9 करोड़ बोला तो आई विल पुश एवरीबॉडी टू डू दैट ना। अगर एक सिंपल, एक मेरे जैसे ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन, ऑर्डिनरी सिटीजन, इफ शी हैज अ ड्रीम, शर्म नहीं आनी चाहिए हर सारे डिपार्टमेंट सारे गवर्नमेंट को कि उनके पास अगर ये ड्रीम नहीं हो तो. सो आई पुश द गवर्नमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग विद दिस काइंड ऑफ विजन. कहीं पे भी मैं जाती हूँ तो यही बोलती हूँ. So you can do that. And the formula that I will give you is, first, facilitate everything around you. अच्छा अच्छा हो. Innovate something. Synergize with various stakeholders. Put your focus somewhere, like say obsessed रहिए. But you start small. पहले ही दिन ताजमहल नहीं बन गया. जिस दिन पहला उसका फाउंडिंग स्टोन गिरा होगा ना, उस दिन वो ताजमहल नहीं था. कोई भी नहीं बोल सकता था कि वो ताजमहल है. ये बनते बनते बना. The same way your dream will बनते बनते बनेगा. So you have to keep consistently working towards it. And whatever opportunity comes, whatever experience you have, whatever you have, वो सारे को integrate कीजिए. Your prior experience and existing plus point, जो भी आपके around मिलता है आप में है, right? And daily means मैंने बता दिया आपको. और अभी मैं जो कर रही हूँ 10th, अभी नेट जीरो लिविंग 2080 में पूरी दुनिया देयर विल बी नो कार्बन फुटप्रिंट एनीमोर. तो अभी से हम शुरू करें, तो अभी से ये मेरा ग्लोबल विजन चालू है. कहीं पे भी मैं बात करती हूँ. दिस इज विद नोबेल लॉरेट प्रोफेसर मोहम्मद यूनुस के साथ. इनके साथ मैं काम कर रही हूँ टू बिल्ड स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज. जो मेरी दीदी जो बांधवगढ़ में थी उसने बोला था ना, स्मॉल पूंजी, पूंजी की पूंजी, स्मॉल कैपिटल फॉर्म हो जाए देन गरीबी हट जाए, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट इन्फ्लुएंस बिग टाइम. एंड देन दिस इज माय डिजिटल स्टोरी, राइट? And how do I want to influence everybody? This is the course that I have, unshakably productive, how to empower reframing self-assessment questions, how to use your superpower to reign supreme and gain confidence, internal patterns, how to grow up your morning thoughts and build a big dream, how to chase your version 10 and divergent models to execute. The third bonus is like say how to remain a winner, how to discover the disenchantment zone and become more, how to call your higher self and rise with gratitude, run the marathon fast to sprint finish, drill and grind to process fast, and then win. Win is secondary, right? Raise the bar and grow more. Mindset reset. Second rank nurturing, which I told you as this thing. Then these are the 30 practice points that I have. These practice points will give you the framework with which you will follow and frame your own solutions only, right? So there are 30, and my main flagship program is of value 59,000. As I can show you here, there are 30 of them, and these frameworks are valued at 1,11,000, right? And so totally it comes to 1,70,000. But the webinar price today will be 9,999 only. So this is all about the presentation. Anybody has any question?